Welcome to the Cleaning in Motion Show, a podcast interviewing successful cleaning business owners to hear what they're doing that works and what they've tried that's failed, all to help you grow your business. And now, on to the show. So welcome to the Cleaning in Motion Show. On today's episode, we have Michele and Evelyn from Stratus Building Solutions of West Michigan. Welcome to the show. It's an honor to have you here, guys. How are you today?
Great, Sam. How are you?
Can't complain. Very happy for this opportunity. So Michele, to start the conversation, I would love to hear a little bit about you. Who is Michele? Who is Evelyn? A little bit about your background. How did you end up in this crazy industry?
Oh, okay. So my name is Michele Nichols. My husband, Craig, and I own Stratus of West Michigan. Prior to doing this, I was a stay-at-home mom for many years, raising a family. I also did mortgage banking, real estate. So I have a little bit of a sales background.
So no experience or contact from this industry before jumping in, correct?
No, just kind of entrepreneurial type things. My husband and I have owned a couple of businesses in the past, but nothing commercial cleaning, janitorial.
Interesting. How about you, Evelyn?
Hey, well, my name is Evelyn Cervantes. I'm originally from El Salvador. I came to the United States in 2019, and I've been working here since January last year. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any commercial cleaning experience before this position, and I had sales
experience background. Evelyn is bilingual.
Yeah, so sometimes just my brain like like it's not functioning the way it's supposed to. I'm sorry.
I can relate, believe me. I'm 100% can relate. So Michele, you're the one who needs to learn Spanish so we can do this podcast episode.
She's learning. She's learning.
I'm trying to learn.
So Michele, I'm curious to hear from you a little bit that I would imagine that before buying a Stratus franchise, you were considering other industries or options. So why did you decide to jump in the cleaning industry?
So I think my husband and I had researched a lot of different opportunities. We knew we wanted to start a business. We are a family-owned business. Our two sons work here as well, adult sons. My husband was really kind of the brains behind all of it, I'll say. He did most of the research, and I mean, we've looked at almost every business model you can kind of think of. Stratus came around because a very good friend to us, a very good friend of my husband's, is a Stratus master in Indy. And we kind of watched him build his business, and in getting to know more about it, we thought, okay, we're going to research this. Again, we had no experience in commercial cleaning and really didn't understand the process of everything that the Stratus model does. But we learned from him, and then we started researching it and met with Stratus Corporate. And in all honesty, it was just a really well-written business model. And we knew that not only could we build our family business, but we could really help other people do the same. And that's really what enticed us probably more than anything, is the ability to help others.
So you're happy with your decision so far?
Very happy.
It's
the
not
first
like you
year
have
was
too many options at this point. But I still
no,
have to
that's true. We Stratus West Michigan opened in October of 2020, so the very end of the year, and in the middle of COVID, and so it was a challenge to get it going. But once we started making traction and really understanding the model and the business, that's when we really took off, and it's been phenomenal.
How long have you been with Stratus at this point?
3 years.
Nice.
Yeah, just starting our third year.
And tell me a little bit, or can you give a brief explanation for those people that are listening and they're not familiar with the business model of Stratus? You can tell a little bit of how Stratus works or how this type of yeah.
Sure. So Stratus is a three-tiered model, not unlike some other commercial cleaning national janitorial companies. So we're kind of the middleman between the franchise owner and the accounts that the franchise owner service. And really what we do here is we help individuals who really want to build a commercial cleaning or building service company get off the ground, do things that they wouldn't know how to do for themselves. And we do that from start to finish, anywhere from, helping them set up their companies to training, understanding what the requirements are, and we spend a lot of time with them, kind of teaching them how to manage their business. Even if they have one account and they're the only employee, you have to start somewhere. And we feel like that's our best opportunity to groom them to be the best, franchisees, unit franchise owners for us, as well as help them prosper in the process.
No, perfect. So I believe if you're in this industry, you probably have heard about Stratus 100%, but I just want to make sure that everyone knows how this works. But let's dive deep a little bit further more into this model, because I know that there is a lot of controversy as well. And if you see YouTube videos, sometimes you can find people saying very nasty things. In my experience, that we meet with cleaning owners all the times, sometimes I see also people like, I tell them, have you considered at this point in your career joining cleaning franchise that will give you the support that you need, instead of investing thousands of dollars in marketing that they still, even if they get clients, they wouldn't know how to handle them. Right. And if the reaction a lot of the time surprisingly is, no, these people, they steal money from you. And then what I think is that this industry, again, it's sometimes misunderstood, or this business model, I would say, because you have that royalty fee, like any franchise, you have to pay a fee. And people don't understand, I guess, what they're getting in return. But I would love for you to talk a little bit about that and explain a little bit to those, I don't know if call them haters the right word, because it's people that they haven't spent the time researching enough about what you guys have to offer, that they immediately put a bad label on the business model. So we'd love for you to clarify that and talk more about.
Absolutely. So, there is a bad reputation when it comes to the tiered model, because there are companies out there that really are not about franchise development and developing their unit franchise owners. They're just about building a commercial cleaning company for themselves. We are very transparent at Stratus. We provide copies of all the contracts that are signed by the customer to ensure the franchise owner that what we tell them is the monthly revenue for that contract is what they're being paid. That's what shows up on their monthly statement. I think that's extremely important. I've at times opened up my books for franchise owners to see, so that there's no secrets here. So we're very transparent with the franchise owners. Another thing I would say is that Stratus allows the unit franchise owners to obtain accounts outside of Stratus. And I think this really supports the mindset that we actually are a business that's out there helping people grow their business, not just our business, but their business as well. So we don't limit that ability for them to seek business outside of the Stratus model. As it relates to the fees that are paid, I always explain to prospective franchise owners, when you look at the percentage that Stratus is, quote, holding back from your monthly revenue, those are kind of the bricks and mortar of your business that you don't otherwise have to do for yourself. We have a full staff here. We're constantly out getting accounts. We're doing promotional social media to help every one of our franchise owners grow their business. A portion of that is for their insurance for themselves and their employees. So when you look at that percentage as a whole, if I only had to pay that percentage in my monthly revenue, I would feel pretty good about it. But so yeah, there's costs of building a business and doing a business. And the nice part about it is everything from start to finish is done for them, other than going out and getting the job done. So hiring employees and payroll, but we do everything else behind the scenes for them. And that's what's, that's supported by the percentage every month that Stratus takes off the top.
So you can see it as somehow like an incubator, no? Basically, a business incubator where you buy your franchise and you don't have to come with any experience the same way that you did when you buy your territory. And you guys provide from A to Z everything they need to succeed. And I think the most important part is that it's not like they buy one thing, you train them a week and they never hear back from you, no? So it's an ongoing relationship and ongoing training. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, obviously there's the initial training, and then, we're with them as they continue to grow. We meet with with the franchise owners on a quarterly basis. We do inspect their accounts on their behalf, where we get starred ratings from their customers. Those are sent directly to the franchise owners as well. The idea is that we're here to support them so that they can keep those contracts as long as possible and get the highest amount of return on that investment. So that's some of the things we do. Veli is very involved with what we consider franchise development. A lot of our franchise owners are Spanish speaking. And as we talked about a little bit ago, I am not Spanish speaking. So Veli might be able to speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, so for the franchise development, we have a lot of franchise owners that want to keep growing, right? So I keep records of, every time one of our franchise owners is letting us know that they want more accounts, that they need more accounts, but also with the new franchise owners. I'm the one doing the initial trading, like the first part of it. And I'm making sure that they really understand, everything to start, like all the processes, every time they get an account, they're getting what Michele was saying, the copy of the signed service agreement, the scope of work, everything needs to be really detailed. So I try to translate everything that I can for them, so it's easier too, because what Michele was saying, it's really important to us for them to understand everything, so they're able to really give their 100% to what they need to do for the customer.
Got it. So at this point in your career, with how many franchisees or potential franchisees have you met, would you say, if you have to throw a crazy number here and there?
Well, we've met with quite a few in the last year, thanks to somebody we know.
More than 100.
Yeah. I would say we're probably running 8 to 10 appointments a week. We are getting, I'll be very transparent, we're getting more selective in the franchise owners that we choose to partner with. And the reason for that is, everybody that's a franchise owner, whether it's in West Michigan or Los Angeles or Florida, has invested in the Stratus name. And it's very important that we hold that high and protect every single person's investment. So we try to be as selective as we can be, because it's not about just taking somebody's initial deposit on a franchise. We want to partner with people that we know can help build, that are in it for the right reasons, the long haul, and ultimately, help them become successful, because that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, no, and you hit it in the nail, because my follow-up question, and the reason I ask is because first, I want people to hear from you two that you meet every day and you're answering calls every day from prospects and people that are interested in jumping into the cleaning industry. you probably have seen it all, no? From the entrepreneur that is hungry, that want to grow, that really is committed, to the guy that thinks that he's gonna buy, sit in the couch and make money. So my follow-up question is, with the experience that both of you have today, do you think that in one conversation you have a good idea if someone is gonna succeed in the industry or fail? And if that's the case, why? Like, how do you know? Or what are the traits that make someone successful in this industry?
Well, I don't think us meeting with them one time is really necessarily a way to determine the longevity of their success, or if they'll be successful at all. I tell people, frankly, when we meet with them, this is not buying a job. This is building a business. And when you build a business, it takes time. We always tell people, do not quit your day job. Okay. If you need to put food on the table, this takes time to get it really, really growing. That being said, as far as what I feel makes them, the franchise owners that come in that are the most successful, in my opinion, are the ones that truly follow the model. They really take care of the customer. They communicate with the customer, so the customer knows who they are. We always joke about the fact, don't be a cleaning fairy in the middle of the night that your customers don't know. There's email, there's texting, there's stopping in and saying hello. So at Stratus, we work with them very closely to make sure they're keeping that relationship with their customer. It's not just a Stratus customer, it's each franchise owner's account. Obviously, the obvious things in being able to succeed in this business is doing what you say you're going to do, doing it right the first time, staying committed to the longevity or the consistency of the cleans. If you can do that, you'll be successful. There's always going to be the one-off that you're never going to make happy, or that they're going to close their doors and you're going to lose the account because they're out of business. But for the most part, if you just do what you say you're going to do and communicate with your customer and give them quality services, you will be successful.
Yeah, definitely translate into following the model, no? That's why they're investing, and it's so easy down the line to forget that you have a proven track record and a model that you can follow, or someone that can support you, because, I don't know, you get frustrated or you think things are gonna happen fast. But there is no business, cleaning, marketing, whatever it is, that things will happen from one day to another. And the key for a successful business owner, it's always gonna be consistency, no? And so you said that, and I love it, because I don't think that this model or the cleaning industry per se, it's for everyone. And you mentioned it, that you're getting a little bit more selective with the people that you bring to your family. So can you tell a little bit, or talk a little bit about how do you select that? What would be a good fit for you, or for someone who is hearing right now that it's maybe considering buying a cleaning franchise versus, I don't know, another type of franchise? Sure. What would be those traits again, or what are you looking for saying this guy is gonna be a great franchisee, or I'm gonna give the opportunity to him?
Right. I'll say a couple things, then I'll let Valley step in. I'm most impressed when we disclose, as other tiered franchise companies are familiar with, and they come back and they've actually read the document. And they have questions that relate to that they've read the document. I think that's extremely important. And when we see that and they come back with good questions, they move way up that quote Google ranking with me. I don't want people in here that are just wanting to buy a job, because it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I feel like, I remember when I first saw one prospect that had the document with like little notes and like everything highlighted. I was impressed, and like all the good questions, like Michele was saying, but like I feel like obviously that's really important, but probably like smaller things too, like as simple as coming in and being punctual if you have your first appointment or your follow-up, If, you know, if you're representing yourself like good. Also, you know, like if you're really listening, if they're really paying attention to what you're saying, like you can see when people are just like, you know, watching you and maybe they're like thinking something else. Like you can notice, and you know, simple things like that, I feel like they make a difference when I'm kind of like rating all the prospects to see really which ones, you know, maybe are like a 4 or a 5, comparing it to a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, it's interesting because when they come in, it's not just them getting information about Stratus, it's us gathering information about them.
Exactly.
And that's where we've come up with our rating system. And we have, you know, the 4 and 5 star people, those are the people that we reach back out to on a consistent basis. And then there's others that just don't represent themselves very well. And it's happened in a numerous number of ways, which we won't get into. But yeah, those we don't call back, and we move to that other next. But you know, it's the other thing I think that's really important, and I know this won't apply to everybody that's opening up a cleaning company, but at Stratus, every franchise owner is assigned what we call a brand compliance manager, and that becomes the liaison between the customer and the franchise owner. So the nice part is we don't just put you in an account and say, go clean it and manage it. This brand compliance manager, as I mentioned before, is out doing inspections on your behalf. But another key component of that is taking the information that's found in the inspection and helping them to better their cleans and what they're doing, their performance. It's great to get an analysis of things you're doing great and even things that you could improve on. But if you're not taking those things that you can improve on and making them better, the inspection process is really not doing what it's meant to do. So it's really nice for the unit owners to have that brand compliance manager who's there that can help them grow, and can also help step in when perhaps there might be a customer that it's very difficult or there's challenges. So they're not just all out on an island in an account by themselves. Stratus is right there with them and available if they need assistance.
No, I think that's a great explanation for sure, because what I think going back why this is so misunderstood and why people sometimes don't see the big picture is that you guys invest so much time, effort in each prospect from they become a lead interested in buying a unit franchise until they actually become successful. You put at risk your reputation, your brand. You give them customers that we know how hard it is to find good customers that wants recurring services. And sometimes you do all of that and people take it for granted. And that's where you have to, of course, charge that franchise fee and also make sure that whoever you bring, that it's representing your brand, it's someone that it's a good fit, no? So,
absolutely.
Following to that, I think just to close this topic, I would ask a final question to both of you. So what do you guys, what is lost if someone doesn't succeed, no? In your network? What do you lose if you bring someone that ends up failing? I want to highlight the importance that you guys provide, the value that you guys provide to this community, no? And
Sure.
our way to see it, I think, and a clear way to see it is putting you on the spot and what exactly do you guys lose every time that a franchise fail?
Sure. Well, I think first of all, before we can say definitively the franchise has failed, we really have to look back in the future and say, how did that happen? The nice part about it is if we ever get to that point, it's very clear what has happened because we have very specific rules and procedures in place for how we manage accounts that are in trouble. Obviously, when an account is in trouble, that means there's a franchise owner in trouble, and there's processes that we have to try to remedy these problems for the franchise owner. You know, there's certain situations, things happen, you know, that are violations, you know, breaking the rules. You can lose your franchise, and if it happens, you know, I'm sorry, but that's the rules. That's the way it goes. But if they get to a point that it's based on performance and they're losing every account, I feel bad. I hate to see it. It's completely contrary to what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people build businesses, not lose money. You know, generally at that point, it's probably not even a break even for us, to be honest with you, because at that point we've invested so much time from even getting the potential franchise owners to look at Stratus until we get to the point that they're losing a franchise. We've invested a lot of time. And it's hard on us. We don't like it. It doesn't happen very often, fortunately. And it's happening less often because we're getting better at screening and deciding who to partner with. But yeah, it's hard. Normally, it's happened a couple of times. The franchise owners know. They look back and it was a specific incident. Like I said, it could have been a violation. They're very well aware. They know exactly what's happened. The challenge with it is it doesn't always represent that itself that way when they go out on social media. But the majority of our franchise owners, the vast majority, very happy. And as a matter of fact, we have something called a wall of fame here, and it's all photos of the franchise owners. And we ask potential franchise owners to look up at that wall. And do you know anybody? If you know them, call them and ask them about Stratus. We have nothing to hide.
Nice.
I think that speaks volumes.
Val, you want to add something else?
No, I was just gonna say
Because
that
the next question is for you because it's a little bit biased. So
for me.
yeah.
So for the wall, when you were mentioning the wall, I've had a lot of prospects that we have, like, I know I want to have the first meeting with them, and then I have like 1 or 2 follow-ups before actually signing them, just to make sure, you know, that we want to sign them. And I had a lot of prospects just like looking at the wall and like telling me, you know, like, I'm gonna be on that wall, like you're gonna take the picture and I'm gonna be on that wall. And it just, like, you know, makes you feel so excited. I was just thinking about that when you mentioned the wall.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say to everyone listening that if you're looking to buy a franchise, it doesn't matter where is your location. A good takeaway here is that if you don't feel that whoever is selling you whatever brand you're going after, it's not also like scanning is not the right word, it's screening you or prospecting you, I would say, that they're just opening the doors and trying to sell as many franchises as they can. It's a red flag, no? And that's why I went deep into this question, because I love that both of you take the effort and you don't accept everyone, because again, it reflects on you. And what you're looking is for someone who is committed, because you're going to invest a lot of time and a lot of efforts in training everyone that comes to your family and joins this network to make them successful. So if you are in the process of researching brands for buying a commercial cleaning unit franchise, make sure that you also are evaluating the person that is interviewing you, and that you can feel that that person is doing the same. No, and it's not just trying to sell you. I think that's a big takeaway that we can get from this conversation. No.
Yeah, we actually encourage our prospective unit franchise owners to go visit our competition. And I never specifically say who what my competition is. They need to research it and go find them, but I encourage them to do it. And I have a few key points that I always share with them that I don't want to share with you, you know, of how we're different. And it's not a criticism. I think that, you know, you need to shop. It's just like buying a car. You got to figure out which one, you know, works for you. And just because one works for me doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. And, you know, I encourage them to do their due diligence and go visit.
So can I ask, what are the questions that you would recommend someone to ask you or to ask me? Or when they're shopping around?
Boy, you know, it's tough, because when you ask me that, I'm going to tend to get into the real detailed things, and there's no way these people would know that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I would ask about, you know, how are you going to assist me when something goes wrong? What is not just what are you going to do? What is your your process policy. If you're willing to share that and train on it, then I know what the expectation should be. You know, it's important to really understand. At Stratus, you will never lose a contract because Stratus takes it from you. Every time we transfer an account, it comes direct from the customer, not from Stratus. They're requesting a new franchise owner. And it's not just a phone call, I want to transfer, unless there's a violation of rules. But if it's a performance issue, we have cure periods, we go to the cleans with the owners, with the franchise owners, to help them remedy the problem, to keep the contract. But you'll never just get a phone call one day, your account's being transferred. That will never happen here.
Yeah. No, so I think, again, for those considering, I would ask similar questions that I've been asking you, you know. And can you tell me a case that someone has failed and why? Can you tell me who is your best franchisee, how much they're making? Why are they so successful? What makes it different? How are you gonna support me grow your business? And ask, no, that's why these meetings are one-on-one and why you guys wanna meet in person, no? Because this is a life-making decision that you're gonna make. So it's important that you do your research and ask as many questions as possible.
Mhm.
So and we're almost gonna wrap it up, but I have a couple of more questions. So one, I guess, Evelyn, you are more fit to answer it because it's a little bit biased. So I would say that you guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, work extensively with the Hispanic market. And as a Latino myself, I'm originally from Venezuela. And I'm also proud to say that in my experience, I have seen that a lot of the most successful franchisees that I know are Hispanic, no? I don't know if that's the case in your market, but I would love to hear why you think, if that's the case, why us, the Hispanic, are so successful in this business as well. And I know a lot of people making a lot of money that came from, again, from Venezuela, from Honduras with nothing. And right now they have a 7-figure business, no? So yeah, we'd love to hear your opinion, your biased opinion as well as a Latina.
I think maybe, what, 80% of our franchise owners?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably 80% of our franchise owners are Hispanic. And I really feel that is because, you know, like they normally like just say that Hispanics are, you know, really hardworking. It's like a fact. Like Hispanics are hardworking, you know, like I don't know if it's something because, you know, in our countries it's just like everything's hard. You have to work hard, like there's no buts, like it's not an option, like you have to. So I think we just already have that engraved in our heads because of our, you know, culture, our parents, you know. So in here I've noticed with the 3-4 years, no more, since 2019 that I've been here, I've really, you know, seen it, like how Hispanics can get so creative. Like, for example, if they don't speak really like fluent English, like they'll just like, I saw it the other day, there was a girl and there was a document, and it was all in English. She used her phone, like took a picture, pressed something in it, and she was able to translate the whole thing like in 3 seconds. You know, like there are so many ways that if they really want to do something, they're capable of, you know, they just really need to like learn how to. But I really feel that it is, I won't say that we're the most hardworking culture, but like we are. Yeah, but I feel that, yeah.
I think there's an honest and an integrity component to it as well. You know, they tend to be very family oriented, honest people. That's who we are. We're a family owned, you know, we pride ourselves on personal integrity. And I think that that's really taken a hold here in West Michigan as well. It certainly, it has been amazing to have Veli with me, because before it was really a challenge with the language, but and then your reputation gets out there. They share it with their friends, and trust is huge.
Yeah, I had a franchise owner a couple of days ago, and he told me that he was looking to like other franchises as well before he came in here. The one thing that made him really go with Stratus instead of another franchise, it was because here he had the opportunity to talk to someone in his native language, and that he felt like he would be really like understood here. Like we were able to help him really the way he needed, because for that person it's really like hard to use technology too. So he was looking for a person really, that was bilingual.
And that's nice, because Veli's an advocate for them, but then she stays with them as their unit owners and helps them grow their business, because she's the one that contacts them about all the new contracts. And so she doesn't just sign them on and say goodbye. They really develop a relationship with her. So
Nice.
it's been great for our business.
So two major takeaways here. One, always have a Latino or Hispanic person in your corner. And two, do not ignore the Hispanic market. I keep saying to everyone in this industry that has the same model as you. It's a huge market. We are almost, I believe last time I checked, it was 60 or 70 million people that live in America are Hispanic, and that's only growing. So I'm happy that you guys are giving also the opportunity to the community, and that you are seeing the fruits of that, no? So we have a couple of more questions, and one is, what is the future of this industry? Where do you see the industry in the next 3, 5 years, 1 year? We are probably enter a recession. We see that if you read the news, you want to cry, but you see that it seems like there is a hard times ahead. So we'd love to hear from your personal opinion, both of you. Where do you see the industry going, and what you think is going to happen in the near future, and how are you preparing for that?
Sure. Where do I think the industry is going in the short and long term? It's only going to continue increase. This role will never be replaced by automation. I remember about a year ago, I was at Walmart and I'm at the checkout line, and there's nobody to wait on us. There's like 2 tellers, the whole thing. And some things happened in the state that increased minimum wage and all this kind of stuff. And the next thing you know, there's, all self-checkouts, and one person working, checking receipts. So a lot of people lost their jobs. I don't think that's going to happen in the janitorial service industry. I think we're pretty solid there. As far as what we're doing to prepare for a recession, if the company continues to build its reputation on doing what you say you're going to do, being a good business partner, whether it's a customer or a unit franchise owner, living with integrity, working hard, which is exactly what we ask of our unit franchise owners, you know what? You'll be successful. And I don't think our trajectory is going to be any different. I think that there's a ton of opportunity in the janitorial market, not just because I don't think that it's an industry that's going to eventually go away, but also because, there's a lot of people out there that want to build businesses. This is a great opportunity for them. And we're able to get contracts because there's a lot of industry that can't hire janitorial services. So we're seeing the fruits of that right now. So that's been great.
Yeah, there is no other option than just keep moving forward whenever it comes. No, you still have to go out and sell and do a good job, and focus on what you can control. No. And I guess finally to wrap it up, what piece of advice would you give to someone who is considering buying a commercial cleaning franchise or even joining the industry?
Like advice from me. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many things.
Whatever, if you go with a proven system, follow the rules. They know what they're talking about. Don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
If you're doing it on your own, I would highly encourage you to find somebody that you could talk to that could educate you about it. Yeah, that's what I would say. And it was the obvious things. You got to work hard. You've got to follow through. You've got to do all those types of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that they just think that they'll buy a franchise and that's done, like they'll have someone working for them and I don't know, that they'll be making a lot of money. And really, like, for me, it's just like when you're building a business, they need to really have the mindset of a business owner. Like when you're building a business, it's more, you need to do really the work, it takes time for you to like build your business, like we were saying earlier. So yeah, like it's kind of like thinking like, yeah, I'll get there, maybe like not right now, like being patient, you know what I mean?
Okay. No, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, we've actually had people walk in here that have wanted to give us large sums of money, and they were just gonna go like hire people to do the work and never go. I'm like, no, that doesn't work that way.
So no, I agree. You definitely have to be in the trenches and experience it yourself before you can start outsourcing and managing people, because otherwise, how are you gonna know what to do, no? And
That's right.
but yeah, I agree. You have to be persistent. If you're gonna go by yourself, find a mentor. If not, follow the model. And yeah, in my industry, we say that sales solve most of the problems that you have in the business. So as long as you're growing and doing a good job and retaining your customers, you will get there sooner or later, no? So Michele, Evelyn, thank you so much for being part of the show. I hope to see you in the future as well in further episodes. Thank you. I don't know if you have one last words, or otherwise we're good to go, and stay tuned for the next episodes.
No, just thank you, for the opportunity to talk, and give our little applause for Cleaning in Motion. It's helped us for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Cleaning in Motion Show. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. In the meantime, find more resources, including more sales and marketing tactics, online at cleaninginmotion.com. That's cleaninginmotion.com. Until next time.